was raised by a woman who lived like two parents in one body. She worked like a man. She loved with a soft heart. She taught with patience, and she survived with resilience. She is a teacher, and she is my mother. Welcome to the Offspring of a Single Mom, a podcast where I open the chapters of my life honestly, softly, and from the strength I learned from the woman who raised me. My name is Marilyn Taribo, and I'm going to be talking about the stories that broke me, rebuilt me, and made me who I am becoming. If you've ever fought through the weight of expectations, fought to create your own path, this space is for you. This is my becoming. This is our story. This podcast is not about pity. It's about healing, honor, and identity. Now, let me share with you my childhood story. My childhood story is so interesting. Where do I even start? So, I used to be a very happy child, or should I say I was a happy child. So, I grew up in an environment called Babalala Estates, and we were living in a 3-bedroom flat. We had a lot of friends in the area, like there was them Oresoya, them Jumoke Alabi, Doin Bero. There were a lot of girls like to play around with. We go to lessons together, we do stuff together. It was really fun. And then I was a daddy's girl because I was the only girl and I had 2 boys I was living with as at then. So my dad would take us to school, he would bring us back. I mean, we're living the life. Like, when we are coming back from school, we'll brand Tantalizer, we'll go to Mr. Biggs. That time, those were the only 2 restaurants that were trending. Gen Zs cannot relate. So, along the line, something broke. I don't know what happened. We were still very young. All of a sudden, I think my dad relocated to Bayelsa. And that was where my whole journey, my life just changed. My life transformed. It was blurry. It became blurry, like blah 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 sheep. So I remember that I was already almost done with secondary school around I can't remember, maybe 2001 or something like that. So I was almost done with primary school, and my dad left, and we went for holiday in Ondo State. We came back and we moved into this new apartment I know nothing about, from a 3-bedroom to a face me I kill you. And we got back. I remember it was my uncle that came to pick us, and my mom said, "Welcome to your new house." Hey, Charlie. Are you kidding me right now? Where is daddy? You know, me and my brothers, we looked at each other, we're like, what's going on? Like, it was so crazy. I remember crying my eyes out because I'm like, I don't want to stay here. It was a very horrible house. I don't know how my mom picked that house. She had a horrible taste. She picked that house, and you know, that was where my life changed. I became, you know, this girl that used to be inside, indoor, just with her friends from the streets, like I mentioned before, to living in a face me I face you. It changed everything for me. And then secondary school came. Okay, so towards the end of primary school, there were days when my mom did not have enough, and you know, we had to trek to school. That was where I knew that fuck, we are doomed. That was where I knew that no, this is a different ball game entirely. I don't even know how to put this honestly, but like, it was not funny as at then. It was not funny at all. So we left primary school, and my brother resumed to one particular federal government college. I was still young. I wanted to go to Igon Ikpabi, IADC as at then, and my dad said, after I wrote the exam and I passed, my dad said I was too young. So we got to know about IADC because the Oresonyas went to IADC, all of them. So we got to know about IADC through them. So we wanted to go there because Sheung, my friend, was already there. We got there, and my dad said I was too young, and you know, I shouldn't go to a boarding house, and I stayed back with my mom. So I bounced around schools. I went from different schools to the other. My mom cried a lot. As a child, I knew that my mom cried a lot. Oh my god, She was always crying like at midnight, like, oh my god, this was not what you promised me. She would call my daddy's name, this was not what you promised me. Like she would cry a lot of times, like too much, like too much. Honestly, it's even going to get me emotional. Anyway, secondary school was no fun. It was a case of, how I now became a debtor. I went to a school like that with some of my friends from the same primary school. So whenever they're like chasing people who are owing, then they put me in the corner with some other people, and then my friends will come and meet me and be like, yo, what's up, like why are you here? We know that you don't used to like default and stuff, like why? I'll be like, I don't know, like I think my mom, like so I'll call my mom with my guardian's number then. God bless Mr. Adebayo. I'll call my mom then, and then she'll say, okay, give the phone to your guardian, don't call your daddy, okay? So I knew that something was wrong. Is either my dad was sending the money and she was not paying, or maybe she paid half, she would, keep half, something like that. And then it just became crazy. So when I got to JS2, this kept on repeating itself, and I was like, you know what, mommy, just take me to a public school, and then we'll not tell daddy that I'm moving to a public school, but we'll still be collecting the school fees from him. You can imagine a GS2 girl, maybe I was like 11 or so, having that kind of idea or mentality. She was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, like just take me there. So I went to resume like GS3 in that school, and that was where I wrote my junior work. It was People's Girls Grammar School. I moved from Juniors Ray Academy to People's Girls Grammar School. And when I got there, I became the champion, like because most of the things they were teaching us as a then, they had already taught me in my private school where I was coming from. I became the champion, local champion. I was a social prefect girl or something. It was crazy. And then my mom was fine with it. That was how we planned a coup behind my daddy. Without my daddy's consent, we planned a coup. So there is that. So I had my junior WAEC in People's Girls Grammar School. I was supposed to move to their senior school. If you know People's Girls Grammar School as at then, they had their junior school somewhere behind that UMC school, and then the senior school was somewhere at the back of Adelabu's house in Molite then. So I left there and went to a uni because there was a strike. There was this strike that happened during that year, and they said school had not resumed. Private school students had already resumed those, so I could not tell my dad that we had resumed, because we kept on going with the flow, what we planned, right? So along the line, I eventually told my mom that I heard that there's a school that they are doing lessons. Maybe you pay 100 naira or so as a den, and is in Eyini. And if you know Eyini, like to Babalola Estate, it's not that far, it's trekkable. So I usually go from Babalola Estate to Eyini. I started attending the lessons there. It was cool. I was just happy to be going to school, honestly, because I love books. Like I was a good school girl, like good school girl. I just wanted to go to school, learn. I was really eager. When I got to Eyini, everything was going well from the beginning. Like it was going well until we resumed, like school actually resumed. And I told my mom that since I've started going to this school, let me just continue, right, instead of going back to PGGS. And she got me the uniform, got me a road and everything. Grades were good, it was easy peasy. Hmm. This school, when I tell you that this school changed me, I was literally living a double life. I was living a different life at home. I became a tomboy. In school, I was doing a different thing entirely. I stopped going for lectures. I mingled with bad boys and girls. There's this place we go to at the back of the school while classes were going on. I'm sure people will know me very well when I was in a uni. It's not my proud moment. Not my proud moment, but like it was crazy. I was a bully. I was a bad person for a moment. Well, I had to, because to survive in that school, different schools, different environment, different people. To survive in that school, you have to be a bad person. If not, people will take advantage of you. They will ride you. So I had to become a bad person. It was for survival. It was not like that was the real me. But people who knew me when I was in school knew that I was a bad girl. After like 2 terms in that school, I realized that if I don't leave this school, I am my badeo. Hey, I am doomed. Like if I don't leave this school, well, I knew that this was not what I wanted to be doing. This is not me. Like I knew that I needed that change. So I went to meet my mom, and I'm like, Mommy, I really like something even happened in school that made me like decide that, you know what, they called my mom. Like the teachers were like, I've never seen her before. I've never seen her before because I was not going to class. Like, but when it's close to exam, I'll collect notes from classmates. I'll read. I'll catch up. I'll still pass. But like my grades became very low. And then something happened, and they called my mom. Like my mom came to the school. I cried my fucking eyes out. They flogged me. They flogged me like mad. And then they called my mom. My mom was like, what? Like she was so surprised because I was living a double, like I was someone else at home, and then I was someone else in school. So she was so disappointed in me and everything. When we got home, I told her that, you know what, I want to go to IADC. That school that my daddy said I was too young to go to as a then. I knew that that was the change I needed. So I told my mom that I really need to go to that school. So I called my dad. My dad was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like as long as I can afford the school fees. So my dad was not like entirely not in the picture. He was there, but he was only there for the school fees. He was only paying school fees. Every other thing, he's no longer interested. So I called my dad. He was like, "Yeah, I can afford the school fees, yada yada yada." And then I applied for the school. I went there, wrote exams or something, and then I started SS2 in that school. And that's like basically my childhood, like when it comes to education. Then my childhood at home is a different ball game entirely. So that particular house my mom moved into, she said, I mean, when we grew up, we had to ask. So she said that was what she could afford as a then, and that was what my daddy instructed her to get, and that was what she could afford. So she picked that house. So my life at home was totally different because that house was filled with so many guys. There were few girls, but mostly guys. Like I don't even know how to. I'm trying to. I'm trying to see how I can, censor what I'm about to say, basically. But that house had its own good. It had its own bad. Like I know that I was almost raped in that same house like two times. It's not because my mom was not there for me or taking care of us or looking after us, but she cannot put us under a yash now. Like she had to go to work. She had things to do. She had her own life. She was a teacher. So it was crazy, but thank God I was able to survive. Something always happened and I always escape one way or the other. It was not me, it was God, but like that house changed me, the school changed me. So when I got to IADC, I knew that my life has literally spoiled. I knew that I needed something to like get me going. When I got to that school, I started seeing different people, different environments, rich kids, poor kids, nepo baby, lapo baby. Is that not what they call it now? So I started seeing people that were serious with their education, people that had ambition. I'm like, wait, oh, I literally could not even float in that school. I literally could not catch up. Me, that I thought, oh, I'm a brilliant girl now. Kiniko, kiniko, omo. When I got to that school, I humbled myself. I was a nobody. Literally, I was a nobody. So I started taking my education serious. Had to sit up. I knew that I need to change my life. And the rest is history. I finished in that school. It really, really shaped me, turned me to who I am today. I became more ambitious. I traveled, at least I didn't school in Nigeria, so that also helped. Like I became very, very serious with my life. But like um, I think that's more of the child story. I need to give you guys this context because there are things that I'm still going to talk about later on in the podcast, and I'm going to be referring to this particular video. So if you did not watch this video, I'm not sure I covered everything, but I think I covered most of it. Most of it. So I'm going to be referring back to this, and so this is why you need to watch the first episode. And if this episode actually resonates with you, congratulations. Hope to see you in the next episode. Until next time, keep becoming.